And then once the pre-show is officially started, I can give you guys a link if you want to share it with your friends and increase your audience.
Russ got the Bills hat on. I got the Sabres hat on. Representing both Buffalo teams.
Hey, that's cool. The hats say it all.
We gotta balance it out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not that the Sabres can. I'm like multitasking right now, so.
Multitasking of the multitasking.
Yep. Good thing that that's one good thing about technology.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just texted you guys the link to the show. If you want to share it with your friends and tell them to watch, now's the time to do it.
I told him I'll do it later.
Okay. How about you, Russ? You going to share it up with anybody?
Yeah, I got a Facebook page I can get it to, but I can't find what is okay, hold on. There it is.
So, Rich, I could test out my hosting skills over Jason.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you got to have a substitute bus driver sometimes.
Ah, that's a good analogy.
If you're watching Jason, I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, let me know when you're all ready.
Yep. Anytime you're ready.
Okay, you can see the timer. I'm going to reset the timer.
Okay. And this goes an hour, correct?
Exactly.
Good. Okay.
Okay, Rob, when the timer says on the air, you're on the air, okay?
All right.
All right, let me bow out. Okay.
Hey, what's happening? We're in the premiere of Fair Catch. I'm Rob, and we got a legend here. His name is Russ. We dusted him off, and we brought him back to Think Twice Radio. And welcome, Russ. Yep,
Well, you more likely woke me up from a nap, but here we are.
Yeah, you can watch us here on YouTube, on Facebook, and Twitch as we premiere some sports talk. So you can comment, ask any questions. We will debate you or whatever you want. But since everybody's talking about the Sabres, why don't we talk about the Bills off-season to start off? I mean, the one thing that shocked me was McDermott getting fired.
I really wasn't all that surprised, to be honest with you. Going back to 13 seconds, I mean, you know something's wrong when all you got to say is something like that, and you know exactly what game we're talking about. I was really surprised it didn't happen there. But he was only like in his second year or so as a head coach. And Pagula is not going to sit there and pay coaches to sit at home anymore. So he let him go for like a few more years, and every year was just like one heartbreak loss after another. So fact that it happened with the Broncos, I'm like, and when they finally put the hammer down on him, I'm like, okay, you know. But how did you feel about Joe Brady being hired?
My thing is this. I think I like it. It's okay. It's a comfortable move to stick with continuity. And, I think if he was handcuffed by McDermott, who knows if he was, we're going to find out. I mean, McDermott, I think, probably handcuffed Dable a little bit too. And Dable and him their egos clashed at that time of the Kansas City 13-second game.
Yeah. Yeah, well, not only him, but Leslie Frazier, because every indication is now that McDermott took over the defensive play calling duties on that last drive, and what can you say?
McDermott wanted to hit his defense and not anybody else's defense.
Yeah,
from what it sounded like.
Yeah, but it was fine. But it's kind of interesting though that a lot when he was fired, there was one player who escapes my mind who said it should have happened back then. And the thing is, everybody's saying that going into this draft, that we needed another receiver. We need another receiver. I still go back to, and you and I talked about this beforehand, that the team was up. They were up late in the fourth again. They were up by 4 points or something like that. And the defense, once again, didn't shut it down. How is a receiver going to help you on defense?
Exactly. How is Josh Allen going to help you on defense? I mean, Josh Allen can't play defense.
He can't be Superman all the time.
No, you gotta help him out a little bit. You have to. I mean, think about how the defense back then with Jim Kelly, the defense stepped it up when they had to, but not in the Super Bowl, unfortunately.
The defense back then, they had the prime pass rusher that they don't have now.
No.
Bruce knew how to take a game over. And the thing about this defense, or the defense that was last year, they had some good players, but they didn't have that lockdown, shutdown player.
No, I mean, Bosa was that risk and reward player. Mm-hmm. He's good when he's on the field, but then he's injured more often.
Well, but he was healthy last year. Well, for relatively, they managed his snaps, mind you. He didn't play as many snaps as he did in the past, so they managed that. So he was healthy for pretty much the whole season, except for a couple of games, I believe. His sack totals weren't there, but he had but he had some fumble recoveries. He had a fair amount of pressures, which a lot of people will say pressures are more. In some cases, are more important than the sacks themselves. So I wasn't disappointed in Bosa at all. I think what it comes down to is that final drive against the Broncos, when they had to have it, they didn't produce. Russo had the only sack of the game. Where was everybody else?
Yeah, exactly. I get it. Like Ed Oliver wasn't playing that game. I mean, or he was injured. Pretty much, they put him on a bench count. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Brandon Beane has been trying to bring in these pass rushers. We saw what he did bringing in Von Miller, and unfortunately, injuries happen. I mean, he was doing very well, and then Detroit ACL injury, and he hasn't been the same since then.
Yeah, well, you know what though? I mean, and if you look at that season, when they were going into that Thanksgiving Day game against the Lions, he had like 8 sacks, 9 sacks. He was as advertised. And then when the injury happened, it was like, okay, now who's going to step up? And nobody really did, as far as from a pass rushing standpoint, because the pass rush off.
Vanessa didn't at all, and I wouldn't mind if he goes anywhere else. But I guess he tried to go to the Browns and failed his physical. And everybody's like, should we resign AJ Epinesa? No, I don't think so.
I wouldn't mind AJ Epinesa though. I think he fits what they're looking for, but it's the dollar amount. Because as it stands right now, as far as over the cap. It's a great website, by the way. Okay. They stand at like 12.2, around $12.3 million under the cap right now. Now, don't forget, you got to pay for rookies.
Yep.
So you got to set aside so much money for that. So they may be able to get Epinesa on a cheap deal. And the fact that he escaped purgatory, known as the Cleveland Browns, I give salute.
He would have had Myles Garrett on the other end, though.
He would have, but you know what? I mean, the Browns are the Browns. I'm sorry.
They don't.
That franchise is purgatory.
Yeah, they don't have a quarterback. They don't have. Well, there's some good running backs and receivers, but that's it.
Well, but it's the evilness of Cleveland. You see, it's the evilness of the Cleveland Browns aura that will suck you in.
Yeah, it's a crappy end of Lake Erie.
But the fact that they have that they're like around 12.3 million under the cap, they can still do something, but they won't be able to make a splash unless they make another move, a post June 1 cut.
Yeah, I mean, you could also. I mean, can you still get Bose does he want to take a pay cut? But I doubt that. I mean,
well, what was he last year? About 12 and a half?
Yeah, 12 and a half.
Something like that. They might be able to get him for maybe the same, maybe a little less. I mean, I'm trying to see if they can make a post June 1 cut, and to maybe save some money. And really, there really isn't a guy out there that's going to really give them a tremendous amount of savings. Because they reworked Dawson Knox, they brought him back,
and they just added a 5th-year option to Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah, so I mean, next year, I mean that's more like next year's money, mind you, but it's still, you still got to take that into account for if you're an accountant, you know what we're talking about. But they're kind of stuck. I mean, Bradley Chubb was a good signing. I like that one.
Yeah, I thought it was an all right move. I mean, it wasn't really the splash like that he wanted, but it was really like, okay, it's a decent move. He plays hard when he's playing, and he's out there. He's playing harder than that.
Oh, it's a need move. They needed an edge rusher in a bad way.
And he knows,
And they,
he knows Jim Leonard's defense.
yeah. So you have Bradley Chubb, and you still have Michael Hoyt.
Mm-hmm.
But it's that Achilles injury. Those can be tricky sometimes. So I mean, we'll have to wait and see on that. And what did you think of the DJ Moore trade to help out Josh a little bit?
I liked it, but did I think we gave up too much? Yes, maybe. I think we could have gave him a third round and kept the first and second, kept the second round pick, because I think because where Bean is, he always picks some good players in the second round somehow. He always does, like a Go Torrance and.
Yep. Well,
So
you know what? If you look at the draft and how it's going, they have a first round pick. They don't have a second. What they could do, and I have a feeling they're going to do this. I think they just might trade down.
That's possible. I mean,
and maybe get like a fourth or fifth round pick, because they like those fourth, fifth, sixth round picks. They really do. And then they'll see what drops down to them. One of my favorite draft analysts is Bucky Brooks of the NFL Network, and he has them taking, as of right now, as we all know, mock drafts can change. He has them taking C.J. Allen, linebacker out of Georgia, as with their 26th overall pick. And I think you and I, what we talked last night, we were bringing up linebacker as a need.
Middle linebacker. I think we're fine. We're fine in the outside linebacking position, where I think, you look at the middle linebacker, you need somebody physical in the middle. And Bernard really isn't physical, but he's very good. I think he's a lot better if they put him to the outside, because he can cover. And then if you bring back Shaq Thompson, you don't have to worry too much about bringing in a first-round linebacker. You could go in the fifth round and get one.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, right now they have like 2 fifth-round picks. They do have a fourth. They have a couple of sixth. They seem to know how to find players in those rounds. And I'll bring one example. I'll bring up is Dorian Strong, the cornerback. Too bad. I mean, it's almost a tragedy what's happened to him, as far as like his neck injury and whatnot. They say that he's healing, but they don't know where he stands. But at the time that he got injured, he was really playing well. So you hope that they can find like another player like him. And let's not forget, Matt Milano was found in the 5th round.
Oh yeah, definitely. Legend of Milano.
Yeah, so you can find guys down there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, if Shaq Thompson wants to come back, then you could focus on the defensive line, which the defensive tackles, I think what we were talking about yesterday, that you have to clear up. I mean, especially in the defensive tackle position, because unless TJ Sanders and who else was that?
Well, right now I'm at Our Lads Guide, fantastic website as well. Really, I don't have much of a life anymore. I just go to website after website and just look up sports. That's really all I do. And TJ Sanders is listed as a defensive end. And right behind him is a guy. Actually, the guy that I was thinking of was Landon Jackson. He was a 3rd round pick last year. So if you're talking about a player that needs to show something this year, he's definitely one of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, he was hurt last season, I believe he was.
Well, he didn't really make the starting lineup anyway.
Yeah.
So he's got to get, so he's got to find himself. And defensive tackle, they have Ed Oliver. And then on the nose tackle is Deion Walker. Now, the nose tackle is real interesting in this scheme because it's not the nose tackle is not directly in front of the center in this scheme. He's kind of off. He's kind of playing on the center shoulder. So I think that they might be okay there, but I think they need more pass rushers, is what they need.
Especially like you said, we don't know about Landon Jackson, how he's going to do. I mean, if you bring AJ Epinesa back, then you don't have to worry too much in the draft. I mean, you still got Max Crosby out there, but the Bills do not want to pay 2 first-round picks for a guy that's 32 years old, and that thing.
I think. Well, I'm sorry, but any player that's over 30 years old that gets that kind of a deal, congratulations to him.
Yeah,
but there's no way I'm paying that kind of money for
not
Max. No, no. That was a ridiculous. That is ridiculous money.
Although the Ravens did him dirty, kind of, but I would take the former Bengal defensive end over Crosby any day of the week.
Trey Hendrickson, you know what? He's getting to be that age too. But you know what? I mean, if you're going for a Super Bowl, if you're there, if you're in that window, if you feel like that is the missing piece to what you need to get over the hump and to get there and win it, then you have to pull the trigger. Unfortunately, they don't have the money under the cap to do it.
No, they don't. And it's like I said, you got Myles Garrett that he's going to be on the trade market, and that's the guy that just had the sack record, and just an amazing player, by the way, man. Myles Garrett. If that's a trade you want to make, you go for Myles Garrett, but then you got to readjust his contract in order to fit him in, and then you may have to trade.
Yeah.
And then probably have to trade somebody else, like a named player, for Robin Cleveland.
Yeah, but I think they're gearing up to trade Myles Garrett during the draft. I really do. I think there's gonna be a blockbuster trade during the draft, and I think it's going to involve Cleveland, and I think it's going to involve Myles Garrett, because there's no way that the Browns can pay that kind of money for a player and know that they're not going to win.
Mm-hmm. And I think he might either. I don't want to say it but he could possibly go to New England because they're well underneath the cap, and they could use a guy like him. And then you have Seattle possibility probably needing a defensive end. And they got a good defensive, altogether a good defensive line. But heck, if you could get Myles Garrett in your system, I'll take it. You take him.
Well, you know what's interesting is that with New England, they seem to be on the up and up, But I still have questions about Drake May, because the schedule that the Patriots played.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say that any NFL schedules is cream puff or easy or anything like that. Okay, but everybody's been talking about it, and when you look at their schedule, they had one of the easier schedules I can ever remember a team having.
Oh, that was for sure. That was for sure. I mean, it was like the Bills have had to play first place schedules almost about 5 years in a row because of how good they are, how talented they are. Then they're gonna. I mean, the second place schedule is probably easier for the Bills than the first place schedule, but obviously, I mean, like you're saying, it could be a one-off by New England, and otherwise Miami's a mess. The Jets, well, they're definitely a mess. I mean, you bring back Geno Smith, that's not gonna help.
No, Gino. No, Gino. Oh, Gino. I want to give Gino a hug. I really
Yeah,
do.
definitely too. That's if you want to talk about quarterback purgatory, the Jets are quarterback purgatory. I mean, look at Darnold, Super Bowl winner. I mean, he leaves. He became a great quarterback in Minnesota. Now a Super Bowl winner in Seattle, and now maybe Zach Wilson if he can get by Bo Nix or something. It could be a future.
But you know what though? Bo Nix is a perfect example of a kid who, because nowadays you get these quarterbacks that start 12, 15 games and they're already off to the NFL. And now you have Bo Nix who started like 50 plus games and he's done well. But the thing is, he's with the right coach. Sean Payton knows how to handle a quarterback. He really does. And he's done a fantastic job with Bo Nix. It's a shame of all times to break your ankle.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even remember exactly where it happened, but the fact that he even played some of the game with that broken ankle is, he deserves a medal for that, But it's just too bad.
That's toughness right there by Bo Nix. I mean, if he was playing, I think they would have won the AFC Championship if he was playing. But the thing of it is that injuries do happen in the NFL. There is really no excuses. It's next man up mentality, basically, is what it is.
Oh, gee. Next man up. As much as I hate that statement so much, I really do. But you know what? It's the truth. It really is. And before we go any further, I want to say hi. Mick Rambo Hatton is in the comments section. I know Mick. We knew each other so many years ago. Mick, how you doing? Hope everything is well. So
what up, Mick? And he does his show tomorrow. Does his show. Don't forget to watch his show.
Right, exactly. But yeah, so it's going to be really interesting to see what the Bills do as far as the draft goes. Do they go defensive line? Do they go linebacker? Do they go receiver? Because a guy that's moving up the charts is Omar Cooper Jr. From Indiana. Yeah. And then you got Denzel Boston from Washington. The guy I hope they don't get in the first round. If they're going to go receiver, don't go for Casey Concepcion.
No, I wait till the second round.
I mean, he may be available in the third round, for all we know. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do. There is some holes because whenever you do a scheme change, like they're doing on defense,
yeah,
they have to look for players to fit that scheme. So, and I don't know if they quite have that yet, but they have some really good athletes. And I'll bring up another guy, Maxwell Hairston. It makes me so mad that McDermott left him in the fourth quarter against the Jets when the game was well in hand.
I know he was playing so well, and we could have had him before the Broncos game.
And he might have been the difference in the Broncos game. But the thing is, I mean, I could have went out there and played cornerback for like the last 9 minutes of the game, and the Bills still would have won.
Yeah, because the Jets stunk. They do. They wanted to just get the season over with, go home, and and reload. Where I get that they wanted to win the game for the final time at that Highmark Stadium, which will definitely be missed. And whoever wants urinals, they're disgusting, please. That's disgusting. I mean,
there are many people with many memories with some of those urinals. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I'm sure somebody wants the toilet that Josh Allen sat on in the locker room. Signed by Josh.
May the bidding war begin.
But that stadium definitely brings back a lot of memories. I mean, a lot of generations have came and went through that stadium. And the biggest memories I've had is basically in the 90s and then currently with Josh Allen and that, because the stadium was rocking. There was energy. You knew that they're going to be in the playoffs. You knew that that you have a Super Bowl team. And during the drought, it was like, yeah, just going for fun, have fun. But really, the 90s and then the current Bills, a lot of fun to go to the games and feel the energy.
Oh, the energy was. I mean, the game that there's a couple of games that I will never forget. One, there was a game against the Broncos. I would think I can't remember the year. I think might have been 89, 90 maybe. They were down by 22-7 or something like that. We were going to my brother's house for a holiday dinner. They were down 22-7. By the time we got from the car, we drove to his place. The Bills were winning.
I think I remember the game.
Yeah, I mean, it was like Cornelius Bennett blocked a kick. John Elway fumbled, and it was just chaos. And then, of course, the greatest comeback game.
That 100,000 people went to. Well, I don't believe that.
Well, I think the attendance is up to 300,000. So.
Oh yeah, I went to that game. No, you did not. 73,000 went to that game.
Oh my goodness! But no, a lot of great memories. But here's the kicker to this whole thing. Here's the kicker to this whole thing. As the legend goes, I'm going to call it the old Highmark Stadium. Okay, that stadium was built on an Indian burial ground.
Yep.
Now, I'm not saying that there's a curse there or anything like that, as I don't really believe in curses. However, given what's happened to the Bills in their time,
yep, wide right.
Of course, you're going to bring up wide right. That was on my 18th birthday. They owe me. But yeah, I mean it's sorry to see the stadium go, but the new stadium looks top notch.
Oh yeah, it definitely does. And I was telling Rich about and Jason how different it's going to be. Like we were talking about that on the No Exit Experience on Saturday, how the reporters were outside on a windy day, and then they go into the stadium and they don't feel nothing. Because everything will be basically indoors. It'll feel like you're inside the stadium, even though you know that there's no roof in the middle, and you're not going to freeze your tail end off just to go get a beer, and then have your beer freeze by the time you get to the seat.
But there are some people that are going to miss those beer slushies.
Oh, definitely, that's for sure. I mean, like I said, that stadium, it got fixed up. I mean, 4 or 5 times. It was time for a new one, and I'm not gonna, 50 years is a long time for a stadium.
50, man, it's weird. It's weird, but when you say that, but it's over 50 years for that stadium. It's crazy.
I mean, the generations that came and went in that stadium. There's so many stories. I mean, it just back then in '73 when it first opened, they said it was the state-of-the-art stadium, and
Yeah, yeah, because I think that was one of the first stadiums that had AstroTurf,
mhm.
if memory serves. But yeah, well, I wouldn't know. I'm not that old, but but I think that was one of the first stadiums to have AstroTurf. But yeah, so. But I think right now the way the team sits, I think you're looking at another 12-win season.
Yeah, maybe 13, depending on, like I think if Kansas City doesn't have Mahomes back, put that in the win column. I think we're definitely gonna sweep the Jets and the Dolphins. The Dolphins look like they're tearing things down, and
Yeah,
the Jets.
yeah.
Are Jets.
They just traded away Jalen Waddle. So right there, I mean, that's one of their main weapons on offense, and they don't have Tyreek Hill anymore. Devin Achane looks like he's going to be out the door at some point. And Tua's gone. So, I mean, Tua, for all the problems that Tua had, he made that offense go, but he just didn't have it.
No,
Lacked arm strength. We saw that.
and he was like really a one read guy, and he threw it quickly. That was it. One read, tried to ball out, and when teams figured it out, it was he's done.
Yeah. So and we'll see what happens with their defense because their defense is stripped down too. So
Plus the Bills are also playing the NFC North, which is a very tough division. Chicago up and coming. Green Bay is tough, and we struggle in Lambeau Field. Detroit, they could put up points, but we don't know about Minnesota. But I think Minnesota's probably winnable game there.
Well, they got the little person quarterback, so Kyler Murray can't see past 5 yards.
The little mouse that could.
Yeah, but I mean, if everything breaks right, I can see them having a 12-win season. If the defense struggle, the thing is, the defense might struggle in the beginning. So you could see. I mean, if the struggle continues in the season, you could be looking at a 10-win season. And what that means with New England, who knows? But like I said before, I'm not sold on Drake May. Granted, he made the Super Bowl. But he didn't really have that great of a playoff, so I don't know. I mean, if I was a Patriot fan, I would really be wondering because they don't have Stephon Diggs, and now granted they just traded for somebody,
and they got Roman Dobbs from Green Bay.
Romeo Dobbs, yeah, there you go. Yeah, they do have Romeo Dobbs, who's a decent player, but he's not Stephon Diggs.
But they look like what it sounds like that they're in on AJ Brown. Okay?
Could be.
And that'll definitely help them out a lot.
Oh yeah, I mean the thing is, I mean they have the cap space to do it, but they have to be careful though, because when it's time for Drake May to get his money, depending on how they structure the contracts, that could stranglehold them.
When you have a good quarterback, we're learning that lesson. I mean, even Kansas City's learning that lesson, Baltimore's learning that lesson, and Cincinnati obviously they got to tear down their defense in order to keep all their receivers. So,
yeah, I don't know why they did that. I don't know why they signed T. Higgins to that contract. He's a great player. Don't get me wrong. But that's a lot of money to be tying up in the receiver room. So and don't forget Joe Burrow. He's kind of been fragile, So he's got to stay healthy.
Mm-hmm. Or they're going to start redoing some things in Cincy. So how about we talk?
Oh yeah.
So how about we talk about that other Buffalo team that that stunk at the beginning of the year? Somehow, if you told me they were going to have 100 points right now, I would tell you BS. Back in November,
I'll tell you
and now
what. The first 100-point season since 2009, 2010.
and we all know who was the starter right there, Ryan Miller.
Miller.
I can't do it like that. Yeah. And of course, and by the way, if they win today, they are in the playoffs for the first time in 15 years. But what changed? I mean, honestly, what changed?
You know what? Yarko, people are saying that Yarko is not a guy to mess around with.
Well, he don't look like a guy to mess around with.
He's a no-nonsense guy. When they fired Kevin Adams. And the funny thing about that is they were on like a 2 or 3 game win streak when they fired Kevin Adams.
Mm-hmm.
So when they did, I mean, yeah, the story goes that Yarko went into the locker room and said, "This is on you guys. You guys have to do this."
Yeah, I mean,
and they took it to heart, and here we are. I mean, you look at some of the seasons that some of these guys are having. I mean, Tage Thompson's Tage Thompson. Alex Tuck is Alex Tuck. You know what you're going to get out of those guys. You're going to get 30+ goals.
the guy we were talking about yesterday, Samuelson. He's playing amazing this year.
Oh my!
I mean,
I'm telling you what, that contract that Samuelson signed is the biggest bargain in the NHL right now.
Yeah, and then like for him to beef up too because of what happened last season when Tage Thompson gets illegally checked and Samuelson didn't even go after the guy. He finally woke up and look at him.
Well, this could be the Yarko effect, though.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's told players, you guys, start. You guys have to play. You guys have to. There is no next year. It's like they perform this year, or things may happen. And if you look, I mean, Samuelson's numbers this year, just on the surface, 12 goals, 28 assists, 40 points. Okay. And not only that, but he's played 72 games this year. Easily the most he's played in his career. And maybe an overrated stat in a lot of people's minds, but a plus 32. So okay, I'll take that, and then you have Rasmus Dahlin, who, in 71 games played. He's just fantastic.
One goal that he had against, I think it was Seattle or something, it was just like, wasn't even much of room, and he shot it over the top shelf.
It was like a Wayne Gretzky goal.
Yeah.
For those of us who remember Wayne Gretzky.
Yep.
The greatest hockey player that ever lived, bar none. Don't even at me on that. But again,
nobody's going to score 93 goals in a season.
No. No. But Rasmus, for a defenseman, 17 goals, 50 assists, and 67 points. I mean, how do you and a plus 11 on top of that? So, I mean, he is literally the guy. I mean, it's almost like having a fourth forward on the ice, But the move that probably cemented things was the JJ Peterka trade.
Oh yeah, I thought that was a steal getting Josh Stone in here. I mean, the guy produces, and if he doesn't produce, that he'll be on the other side of the on defense stopping. Like you said, he's a carbon copy of his father. It's like it's copy paste.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I watch him play. I'm like, is that Shane up there? I mean, it's amazing how he's copied his father's style of play. It's like the Doan family, you know. I mean, when you watch him play, it's like because Sabres tried to get Shane Doan a couple times. I know that, and Shane didn't want to come here, as far as I know.
Well, he wanted to stay in the heat of Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
It's warm in Arizona. It's cold in Buffalo.
Yes.
I mean, Daniel Briere left. He left Arizona, come to Buffalo, and he loved it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's some gear to pay him, but.
You know, and the great thing is that they have Josh Doan signed for a nice long-term contract. So, but you look at some of the other players, like Jack Quinn. You know, he's having a pretty good year. Jason Zucker, he was hurt there for a while, but he's having a nice year. Peyton Krebs, he's like that little disturber, little thing you want to wring his neck kind of a player. Him and Zach Benson together. You know, I mean, those two are a nightmare. Those two are hard players to play against, and that's what Lindy Ruff wanted. He wants players that are hard to play against.
And then you saw what Kekalainen did in the trade deadline, bringing in big name players or not big name players, but big players and experienced players like Logan Stanley, and then you have Carrick, who just got injured during the Islanders game, which really, to me, that stinks because he was doing very well before he got hurt, and then they brought in Shen, who right now he's more of an extra because they got very good defensemen right now. I mean, and Byram, and you have Power, and then Stanley, who just got into a fight with Kachuk, by the way.
Well, good boy. I'll be sure to send him a little extra in the mail. But I'll tell you what, an underrated player that they acquired was Tanner Pearson. He's the exact same type of player as Sam Carrick. So they have some depth guys. They have some depth players that if a guy gets hurt, they can put a guy in there and they really shouldn't lose much. And as far as Logan Stanley goes, he's that gigundous defenseman. He's still young. He's like 27 years old, but he's like 6'7", 240 pounds. And he plays every bit his size.
Oh yeah, he'll throw down and he don't care too. He's a very, very big physical specimen.
Yes, he is.
I mean, where we did have the guy that size, but it was Tyler Myers we were talking about, and he just didn't. He didn't know what he was doing.
Well, you know, he was just a different type of player, though. I mean, he's more of the skater, finesse, positional, you know, and for the first few years in Buffalo, he actually played pretty well. But you know, I mean, but the team around him didn't. After the last time the Sabres made the playoffs, the players around the team just declined. For whatever reason, they wound up doing 14 straight years of no playoffs until now.
Which really, it stinks, you know, because, you know, the talent that they had, especially in the 2015, 16, 17 era with Ryan O'Reilly, Evander Kane, Jack Eichel, who was very popular, I guess, in Buffalo, but is still getting booed, by the way. But yeah, they had,
you know, and we can't forget about Sam Reinhart. You know, I mean, you know, and they had Rasmus Ristolainen. And you know what? For whatever reason, they just didn't get it done.
Was
Whatever
it
reason.
coaching? I mean, seriously, was it coaching or was it really these players didn't get along in the locker room and didn't want to work together? Was it that? I mean,
I mean,
how's the
I think coaching had a lot to do with it because you're looking at guys like Phil Housley, Ralph Kruger, you know,
Bilesma before House?
yeah, we had him. And then we had Granato, who Granato did some good things. I mean, he unlocked Tates Thompson.
Yeah, I'm not complaining about Granado. You know, I was kind of like he was more soft, but he did get us close to the playoffs a couple of years ago.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And what's interesting now is that if you look at the trade that the Sabres did when they traded away Jack Eichel, what they have in return now this is a few years now, so we can kind of like look back on the trade and see like what the Sabres got in return. Alex Tuck, we know what we have there.
Yep.
You know, and Peyton Krebs. He's a decent piece. He's a decent player. He's a starting he's an NHL player right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then the third guy that nobody seems to see, people seem to forget is Noah Ostlund.
Yeah.
He was a draft pick. He was a first-round pick, included in that trade.
And the weird part is, like, most of this talent was brought in by Kevin Adams. Yep. Like, Olsen, you have obviously Samuelson, Benson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, all these players. And then it's like, by the way, we don't have palm trees. We never will. But it's like I felt like he just didn't. I think the general manager went, like, it was too much for him being a general manager.
Well, and I'll tell you, and I'll tell you a trade that is under the radar is Ryan McLeod for Matt Savoy.
Mm-hmm.
Savoy going to the Edmonton Oilers. So there's
Ryan McLeod is amazing. He's probably a very good fourth liner, along with I think Beck Malenstein.
Yep.
That guy's a decent goal scorer. I mean, you're talking about the prettiest goals he ever. Oh, okay, he only scored 5 goals a season, but.
But the ones that he scored have been big. So he's got some, and he's one of the fastest skaters in the league.
And they're amazing. He scores amazing goals too. It's like, come on. It's like, come on now.
I mean, I think, and the guy that has been missed from the team is Yuri Kulik. And
unfortunately, what sucked at a blood clot, and you don't know how it's gonna heal, and you don't want to hurry him back. I am surprised, like the way that they have played without Jordan Greenway. I'm wondering if he's going to be expendable next season. Don't get me wrong, I like him, but the injuries are kind of the way that the injuries to him are piling up. It's kind of like, do we miss him? Are we going to miss him if we trade him?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, he's that big, huge forward that if he plays a full season, he can get you 15 goals, 15, maybe 20. But the problem is that he just can't stay healthy. And eventually that becomes the issue. Can you continue with that player? And I don't think you can. So I mean, looks like that they will have to say goodbye to him, which You don't want to because he's the type of player that you need. But
But
looking, but looking at his contract, he becomes a free agent after next season. So he's got his salary right now is $4 million. Not bad, but if he's producing like he should, it's not a bad contract. But he's not producing like he should. So
yeah, you have players you had players that stepped up in his place that played way much more better than which they've done a lot more being on the ice than he would being on the ice. And that's it's almost reminding me of Norris. I mean, Norris, he's a good player when healthy, but he's getting hurt. Let's come on, let's see what you could do, Norris. Stay healthy and let's see what you can do.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, he's one of those he's one of those guys that when you trade for him, you know what you're getting. He's hurt. Can you deal with that? Can you deal with the fact that he may only give you like 40 to 50 games a year? Some players I don't know if you remember a player by the name of Steve Larmer.
Well, I think he played for Chicago.
Yeah, he played for Chicago. I think he still holds the record for most consecutive games played in the NHL. It's like almost 1,000 or something like that. I can't remember the exact number. Some players can just play. Some players can play and not get hurt all that much, or if they do get hurt, they don't miss that much time for whatever reason. Who knows? And then there are just some players that, for whatever reason, they just can't put together a full season.
Oh yeah, it's pretty. I mean, even with the talent that like Norris has, or the guy, like his importance is being healthy. It really comes down to it.
Yep.
It's not the fact of you're talented. Oh, big deal. Your talent is great, but gotta stay on the ice because you're needed.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And then you have. So we got like about under 7 minutes left. Now we're going in the playoffs. So what matchup scares you?
I don't know if any matchup scares me because it's the fact that they've made it. Anything can happen. Good or bad in that manner. But I think in looking at the standings, I mean, right now they're tied with Carolina for the top spot in the conference. So we're looking at either Boston or Columbus. So if they get the top spot, they'll play Columbus. If they get the second seed, actually, if it's either the first or the third seed, so it's either going to be right now Columbus or it could be the Islanders. Is what it looks like.
Yeah, Columbus, I think, does scare me a little bit. I mean, they have trouble against Columbus for whatever reason.
Well, you know what? I mean, this is where the goaltending comes into play.
Yeah, and I think Allmark. I think Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is starting to show signs of where he should be.
Yeah, and and Alex Lyon. I mean, what can you say? He was like when he was signed to the contract that he was signed to, everybody was like, "Who the heck is this guy?"
Well, now we see it.
Now we see it. Well, you know what? He's for whatever reason everything's just meshing together right now. It's all coming together. It's a shame that Alex Tuch isn't signed right now to a long-term deal. But I think right now they did the right thing in not trading him, because what are you going to trade him for? Something that you already have.
Yeah.
And who knows if he's going to be just as good as Alex Tuck. So I don't know if there's a matchup that scares me. I would actually love to play the Boston Bruins, because I got a friend of mine. I got a friend of mine that's a Boston Bruin fan, and oh man, do I want to put it back on him.
And there's something about hating Boston. That's there it is. For me, it's like I just can't stand the Bruins. I really can't stand New England. It's like just looking at those logos. I'd like to slap some Bruins fans and slap some Patriots.
Oh my god! When they were on their playoff run back in the mid 2000s, and they beat Boston on a consistent basis, that was like, because I go back to 1983 when Terry O'Reilly beat the Sabres in Game 7 of that series, and I was just like, oh man! And the Sabres were up 2-0 in that game, 2 goals by Rick Sealing. I'll never forget it. But I can't stand Boston. Cannot stand Boston. If they wind up playing Boston, great. Chance to bury them, But any matchups that you're weary about?
I want to say Montreal maybe, because they got that type of young team that just they'll get you if you're not playing hard. They will get you, and then if Detroit makes it, they got pretty much one of the best playoff performers in Patrick Kane. And, when he's in the playoffs, he'll step it up a notch. So I think those two kind of would scare me, but I think the way we've been playing will definitely, I think I see it. I wouldn't be too much afraid of that.
I mean, if you look at in looking at the Canadians, you have Nick Suzuki, who's having another fantastic season with 92 points, and then you have Cole Caulfield, who, man, I'll tell you, I'm not saying that he was unexpected to do what he's doing, but he's like 5'8". He's just amazing on the ice, and so you got a couple of high volume players right there that could scare anybody, and their goaltending's pretty good too. So yeah, definitely.
And plus their fans travel. That's the one thing.
Oh yes, they do.
They will bring in. Montreal will bring in their fans during the playoffs and try to basically see who the loudest is. But I hope not. I hope the Sabres fans sell out all those tickets, playoff tickets, so we can show them how loud we are.
Don't sell the tickets. Don't sell the tickets.
If there weren't Montreal stuff, do not sell them. Now, if the Maple Leafs fans are selling it back to you, buy them. Tell them to leave.
Right. But I will say this. I mean, it's been a hell of a season. It's like the team is back on the map. And it feels great because now I can watch NHL Network. And
yeah, in a way, this season feels like 05-06, and something like written like that. I feel that. I'll be watching it. Mm-hmm. We'll be watching it outside in the warmth, and
hey, the square is going to be hopping for sure. But I think it's great for the city, because now you're going to get people going downtown at a time when they weren't going downtown, say like last year. So the businesses are going to benefit big time, and I think it's good for the community as well, because now it's not just about the Bills anymore. It's about the Bills and Sabres, and kind of gives people a feel good. Makes people feel good, pump your chest out a little bit.
Yep.
But yeah, but
Well, we
definitely.
got to go. So hopefully we'll be back on next week. So, all right. Take care, everybody. Thank you, Rich.
Okay. So long, guys.